pretty open above. Oh, look. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Now we see what the engraved windows look like. You never know when Titanic's going to surprise you. And this is Lucille's room. This is definitely Lucille's room.
The centerpiece of the window is a medieval sailing ship surrounded by Celtic knotwork and mythical beasts.
Yeah, a little Celtic nautical motif.
This discovery is important. It's the first time anyone has ever seen the design. Nowhere in Titanic's plans was this pattern ever recorded. Purely by chance, this is the only decorated window known to have survived the sinking. Moving along the empty corridors of A deck, the preservation of even the minor rooms is amazing.
This is a lavatory on our left here.
Pantry.
Is that what it says?
Yeah.
Pantry. Oh, well, that might be interesting. Let's take a look at the pantry. This whole room looks ridiculous.
Look, there's things on the wall.
Oh, we're going in. We are going in.
Bowls.
Oh my God, look, there are dishes in the cabinets. There's something about seeing it in situ like this.
These fancy dinner plates would have been used by the likes of the Duff Gordons. Who knows? Maybe they were even stacked here by my namesake, the steward James Robinson.
I mean, normally you'd have stuff piled on top of it, but these have been protected. That shelf right above has been protecting these plates.
Given the precarious state of the wreck, it's not going to be long before these will be lost to history too. This rapid deterioration is creating arguments within the archaeological community as to whether artifacts from inside the wreck should ever be salvaged.
I'm starting to think, should we think about somehow saving some of these things from actually inside the ship? And this is very sacrosanct to some people and very controversial, who think that you can salvage some things from the debris field, but never, never, never even think about going inside the hull and recovering anything. And I'm starting to think, you know, come on, what's the difference here? Save what we can for history, because at some point in the future, we may find ourselves looking back and thinking, what were we doing? We should have saved that, and now it's gone forever.
It would take international legislation to get permission, and a great deal of money to retrieve the internal artifacts of Titanic. So for now, tantalizingly, our brief is photograph, record, look, but don't touch. After 12 hours underwater, Jim finally returns to the surface. But with only 4 days before my dive, there's trouble brewing. We've just received a hurricane warning.
Wouldn't the world be strange if we all saved the same thing? Thankfully, everyone's different, so HSBC has a range of saving options, like our online saver. HSBC, the world's local bank.
It looks different, and it feels different. Go beyond whitening with McLean's White and Shine. Micro buffers gently polish teeth, leaving them whiter and so smooth they shine. Don't just whiten, shine. McLean's White and Shine.
Teach yourself Spanish for free with the world-famous Michelle Thomas, starting inside tomorrow's Sunday Express, with a final disc inside next weekend's Sunday Express. Express delivery!
They're the most important part of any business. Will they be ready? Ready to build relationships, to solve problems and invent new products, ready to make a difference. If they have the right software, they will. Microsoft, software for the people-ready business.
If you need careers advice that's tailored to fit you, call the Learn Direct advice line.
Hello, is that Learn Direct?
Yes, it is. How can I help you?
We can now help you with things like improving your CV or preparing for an interview.
Good luck with your new job.
So you can make the most of your skills. For careers advice, call 0800 100 900.
Close your eyes, listen to your heart, and think. Come on, do yourself a favor and think big. And until July 31st, all this still from the launch price of $7,589.
All these people want the same thing. Without it, they'll die.
It's all of us waiting for the phone to go.
They're the UK's heart transplant waiting list. In the coming weeks, some will live, others will die. A two-part series, Who Gets the Heart, starts Thursday at 10 on 4.
With only 3 days before my dive, we've got problems on the Keldysh. The fibre optic video link that worked so well on the previous dive is broken.
Multiple hydrants. Somewhere along the fibre optic line, we fouled the connection. We're not sure exactly what happened. It kinked, broke, something along those lines. We have to identify what the problem is now.
So it's essentially just a communications problem?
It's just a communications problem, yeah. Everything was fine. We had audio link, we had video link.
And you weren't leaking?
Topside. We weren't leaking. And it was all looking good.
It's a bit worrying that they're bringing this boat back in. The first Mir was supposed to be launched at about 8 o'clock this morning and ended up being launched at 5 to 2, I think it was, and it's now 6:45. This one we thought was going to go maybe about half an hour ago, and then suddenly the roof went back on it and it's just kind of stuck here. We don't really know what the problem is, and everyone is so kind of grey-faced that we don't like to ask them. I think it's something to do with the robot cameras, but I'm not absolutely sure. Although in a funny kind of way, the fact that they're taking so much time and trouble about getting everything set up doesn't make me feel more unnerved about the fact that I'm going to go down. It makes me feel more safe, because I feel if they're going to take that much care about just getting the cameras right, then they're going to take an equal amount of care about me. It's 10 to 8 now, and Mir 1 has been down there for the best part of 6 hours, and in order to conserve their power, they've turned everything off so that they'll have plenty of light when Mir 2 comes down. So that means they've just been there in the darkness for hour after hour. Lord knows what they've been doing, and still there is no sign of Mir 2 being launched. And there's a big debate going on now between the people who are running the boat, who say they don't want it to be launched now because it'll mess up their shift patterns and they'll be working through the night, and the techies who say that if we don't launch now, then the whole day will have been wasted. It's 5 to 9 now. We were just about to go. Jim had made the decision, but we've drifted 2 miles off course. So it's going to be another half hour in order to get back to where we're supposed to be. But the other thing is that the weather forecast... Belinda, can I borrow you for a minute? What did they say the weather forecast is going to be?
The weather forecast is, it's forecast or predicted between 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock in the morning. A whole series of weather systems will come together, several low pressure systems, several frontal zones, and that will create weather, a 2-hour approximate zone, sort of window of 30 to 35 knots, 2.5 metres swell, another metre of sea on top of that, so something like 3.5 metres, wind, lightning, and lots of excitement.
Can we go down in that? Carl has been stuck on this boat for hours now, waiting to go out. Carl, have a word.
Yeah, sure.
What is it that you're going to do with this boat?
We're running this rib in support of the prime rib, which has got the fibre optic feed down to the mere submersibles down on the wreck. We've had a few technical problems, but we've managed to clear the technical problems now. Unfortunately, it looks like there's a weather front coming in now, so...
if there's a storm, how will it affect you guys on this boat?
Apart from the obvious safety implications, there's the implication for losing the feed. We've got a 2.5 mile fibre optic from the surface running down to the meres. If we have a 10-foot swell, for instance, we've potentially got a 10-foot slack in the fibre optic, which if we hit a peak of a wave, we could snap that fibre optic, we'll lose the signal, we'll lose the whole shooting match.
And there's thunder and lightning out there too?
Well, it's forecast, and we're hoping that it's going to pass us by, but yeah, it's certainly a possibility.
So what would happen if it hit the fibre optic?
Well, if it hits the fibre optic, it's going to take the fibre optic out, but you know, we're here to do a job. We're taking a calculated risk. We've got to get the job done, and we're going to go for it.
10 to 10, the whole thing's been knocked on the head for the night. Jim's just coming out. Mere 1 has been on the bottom now for over 8 hours. No light, no power, waiting for something that isn't going to happen.
It's like a shuttle launch, you know. You get all keyed up, you get in there, you're all installed, you're ready to go. You're stacked on the pad, ready to go. And then thunderstorm comes with a nice grub. It's a fine deal. All right.
Alrighty, let's get everyone up, make sure we get everyone
at dawn.
Early night.
12 hours on the ocean floor, and Mere 1 safely recovered after a completely wasted day. Beginning of another day. It's 12 hours since the last dive was aborted, and we've only got a limited amount of time in which we can dive, and we've already lost one dive, so there's a lot of pressure on everybody. And the problem really is that the different aspects technologically of this dive are so complex that if just one goes down, we're not going to get our pictures from the bottom of the ocean. After a 28-hour delay, Jim finally launches in Mere 2. What with the weather yesterday and the lost dive, we're under serious time pressure. So Jim's next dive is going to be really ambitious. Over 12 hours and targeting lots of areas that could yield amazing artifacts.
All right, this is the grand staircase right here coming up. And there it is. You're looking right down into the curve of the A deck level.
The grand staircase was one of the most opulent areas of the entire ship. Made of pale English oak, it extended down from the boat deck to E deck. With finely carved balustrades and mouldings, it was the main thoroughfare for the first-class passengers. Not a trace of the staircase remains, just a gaping hole that provides easy access for the bots. Jim's convinced that the staircase hasn't rotted away, but instead was ripped from the stairwell with the immense hydraulic forces created when the ship was inundated.
We're going to go down actually 6 decks, and we're going to try to get into the Turkish baths, which we've never seen. Nobody's ever seen it, not since 1912.
Jim's first target, the Turkish baths, are below the bottom of the grand staircase on F deck.